How you feeling? Good rising, kings and queens. I'd rather be with you. Ooh, yeah. I'd rather be with you. It's been a while since I sang to you, so I just thought I'd give you a little taste. Just a little bit. I'm feeling some type of way. I woke up super early and had to meditate, pray, whatever you call it, for about 30 to 45 minutes today. I had to get my mind right. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling up to par. The weight of the world was on my shoulders, and I just accepted it. And today, I'm like, listen, not today, Satan, not today. I'm not in the mood. Today is the day that the Lord had made. I'm going to rejoice and be glad in it. As far as news is concerned, Air Force reveals its latest recruit, Hunter, the cyber weapon, will use AI to search for security holes in computer networks. Cyberspace weapon system has just achieved full operational capability. The tool can be used to perform vulnerability assessments and detect threats. This will help keep computers, infrastructures, and all cyberspace secure. Or this is just the setup to go ahead and link into your computers, hack your computers, do whatever they wanted to do with your computers. Cyberspace Vulnerability Assessment, aka Hunter Weapon System, was recently declared capable of full operations. When a threat to the network is detected, the system will provide a way to track, target, engage, and assess and operate accordingly. The network extends to computers, infrastructures, applications, data, and cyberspace operations, all of which the CVAH will be working to protect. The declaration came barely a month after the same achievement was granted to the first cyberspace weapon system, the Air Force Intranet Control Weapon System. You got to forgive me because a lot of these like CVAH weapons, they don't even break down what that even means. Like maybe cyberspace vulnerability assessment hunter. Okay, so they shortened it. The cyberspace vulnerability assessment hunter weapon. You know what? I'm going to just leave that alone. Now you know, no one's half the battle. Security official at the Federal Reserve Bank caught after stealing almost $200,000 in quarters. Hey, don't for a second think that you putting up those pennies, that you putting up them dimes, them quarters. Don't think for a second that that little piggy bank, that jar that you keep, that Poland Springs water bottle, that huge, what is it, like 16 gallons? Don't think for a second that doesn't matter. Because my dude stole $200,000 in quarters. That's more than laundry. This is a huge haul of coins weighing over 5 tons. Stephen Dennis, 49 years old, stole $196,000 and compromised an entire quarter. I guess that's like the actual what they printed for that day. I really don't understand. He worked for a security firm that held millions in coins for the Federal Reserves. Dennis smuggled 784,000 quarters out by replacing the coins with beads. It's not clear how he planned to spend the money, which weighed 5 tons. He agreed to pay it back, but could face 10 years in jail and a $250,000 fine. Dennis previously described himself as a valuable asset to the company. Of course, he's a valuable asset. They need to keep him. They really do. They need to find out how he did it, because apparently he has a great criminal mind. Let's use your criminal mind to the benefit of the company. How'd you do it, and how can we make sure it never happens again? $200,000 he stole in quarters. Y'all better start picking up some pennies. Don't think for a second it don't count. It certainly does. Listen, I'll pay it back. I promise. I'll pay it back. You might get a $250,000 fine on top of that, and you could face up to 10 years in jail, but I doubt that will ever happen. The fight to save Tilikum. So I don't know if you guys remember when I watched the documentary Blackfish, and I think I talked about Tilikum for like a straight 2 weeks. So Tilikum was the blackfish, or the orca, because they're not called blackfish, nor are they called killer whales. Their name are orcas. Tilikum was the orca that was killing people and killing whales, and he was the angry male bull that they used to breed up all the other females. My dude was going crazy. If you watch the documentary Blackfish, if you care anything about animals or you like documentaries, it's a great documentary that uncovers and exposes SeaWorld and a lot of these other operations that are supposed to be taking care of these animals. And I go back to one of the posts that I posted probably about 2 or 3 months ago, where it was like this huge space and it was a aerial view of SeaWorld. And it's like, this is all of the parking for the SeaWorld individuals that come to patronize. And then it was like this little itty bitty tiny dot that you couldn't even see. And it was like, and this is where the killer whales live. Mind you, these are the same animals, orcas, that travel thousands of miles to mate, thousands of miles to eat, but yet we put them in a swimming pool and say, hey, let's go to SeaWorld. Think for a second. How all lives matter? Tell me you going to SeaWorld, all lives matter. You going to the zoo, all lives matter. You going to the aquarium, all lives matter. Because some of those animals don't deserve to be put in a cage for your human consumption. Tillicum made headlines after being connected with the deaths of 3 people. His health is now deteriorating and he is being treated for bacterial infection. SeaWorld has faced mounting criticism for treatment of wild animals under its care. Visitor numbers have been sliding since 2013 when Blackfish was released. The center also admitted to sending an employee to secretly infiltrate animal rights groups, PETA, last month. So please watch Blackfish. If you care anything about the animals, all lives matter, please watch the documentary. And my question is, if he's at a facility where he's supposed to be well looked after, why does he have a bacterial infection? What didn't you do correctly? Or who didn't do their job? Question. J.K. Rowling accused of cultural appropriation as she adopts Cherokee legends into the wizarding world of Harry Potter. The author has come under severe criticism for latest piece on Pottermore, links the wizardry in her stories to ancient beliefs of Native Americans. Critics say that its content is lacking in respect for the beliefs of ancient tribes. If you want to talk about whitewashing ancient tribes, you need to talk about all of the history books across America. So don't sit here and jump on J.K. Rowling like she's the only one, like America's entire history hasn't been completely reformed. Completely. Hold on. Who is who? That's not who I think it's supposed to be. I'm in reference to half of the individuals that were told about the Tasmanian Devil, you know, the cartoon Tasmanian Devil. I didn't know that was based on a real tribe. The Tasmanian Devil are a bunch they're like the first pygmies to ever live, and they're really short, and they were seen as overly aggressive. Well, when you try and take my land and steal my people, yeah, I'm just a little aggressive. But the Tasmanian Devil, you know, there's a long history of cultural appropriation that the United States is guilty of, but yet we don't check them. So I'm wondering why it's such a big deal to check J.K. Rowling, aka the writer of Harry Potter. If we're gonna hold somebody accountable, we need to hold everybody accountable. You want to talk about a little fiction book? How about the history that we teach our children? Let's fix that first before we start pointing fingers. Verizon to pay $1.4 million in FCC super cookie settlement over online tracking technology. Shout out to all y'all Verizon customers. T-Mobile said, we ain't gonna do it. Not us. Not on our phone service. But Verizon definitely had a super cookie, and without your knowledge, it knew where you were, who you were with, what you were doing, tapped into your phone. It was tracking, y'all, hunting. We knew where you were all the damn time. But the biggest problem is the customers didn't know. So even though some of these apps are like, hey, do you want me to go and tell your whole phone, even though you only need me for notes? Do you mind if I have permission for your cookies, your pictures, your audio, your video, your contacts? Why does one app that needs absolutely none of those things want permission for your whole entire phone? I want permission for your settings. I want permission for your location. I want permission for everything. Just give me your phone. That's how I feel sometimes downloading these damn apps. Just give me a phone. Shout out to Verizon. Why aren't these companies ever sued? $1.4 million. That needs to go to one individual that feels, schizophrenic, that somebody's coming to get them. And, this whole time that I was Mel Gibsoning, feeling like conspiracy theory, somebody was after me, I was actually right because you guys were tracking my phone. I want that 1.4 million by myself. And as far as your other customers, you guys can figure that out. I don't think, why do they get to be let off the hook? That's my question. Why do you just get a little slap on the wrist, pay this little fine, and all will be well? But yet let an individual do what a corporation does. And an individual can be locked up for the rest of their life, but yet a corporation gets a little fine, a little slap on the wrist. Let us discuss this. And then you have to prove that they did anything wrong. Court fees, everything else. Absolute ridiculousness. Shocked as Sanders storms Michigan. Vote goes to the wire, but Bernie wins over Hillary to the victory. Hillary Clinton declared winner of Mississippi within minutes of the polls closing, with early count giving her an 81% victory. The bulk of Mississippi's 36 Democratic delegates are expected to go to Clinton, but Sanders won Michigan despite the polls placing Hillary ahead of Sanders, but Sanders did win. He held an impromptu press conference and said the political revolution that we are talking about is strong in every part of the country. This political revolution is strong in every part of the country. This isn't a liberal thing. This isn't a northern thing. This isn't a southern thing. This is across the country. People are fed up. People are angry. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And right now we have two polar opposites that are completely radical, and people are actually gravitating towards them. One being Donald Trump, completely radical. I want to shout out Anonymous, who hit me up and sent me this information on this. I need to read some more and do my due diligence before I post it, but it's about this organization. And I say organization because they have a .org, this organization that is a supporter of Trump's, and it's about the tradeworker.org, and they're the traditional worker party that is seeking ethic consciousness. What the heck does that mean? Ethic consciousness. European Americans are the descendants of indigenous people of Europe. They are often, this is from the website itself, they are often identified on government forms as Caucasian or white. We believe that European American identity is under constant attack by members of American institutions such as the state, education, culture, and even churches. We reject racial supremacists and believe the world's people should embrace and celebrate their sacred heritage and identities. Ethic consciousness. Don't y'all have white supremacists? Don't y'all have white ignorance? Jane Elliott said it's not white privilege. It's white ignorance. And if you don't understand, head over to mixcloud.com. You can also go to youtube.com and watch the Jane Elliott video. Absolutely amazing. And I love the way she called it white ignorance instead of white. I already knew these two were going to call. Lord of mercy. We just going to go ahead and hear it. Go ahead, Carly, you're live. I knew it was coming.
Tayla. How you doing?
I'm well, Takwa. How are you? Wait for it.
I'll tickle pink because it is really no such thing as an indigenous European. Europe was a wasteland. The Caucasian didn't originate in Europe. As a matter of fact, they're not native to any part of this planet. They're basically a demyelinated black person that was exiled from the root of civilization and put in Europe as a prison, and border guards were placed so they couldn't come back to the East because they were causing mischief and bloodshed at the root of civilization. So Europe was basically a prison. U means prison, and rope means rope that you bind one with. And so that's how they got to Europe, but they're not native to any part of the planet.
European Americans are usually declared as Caucasian or white on forms. Like, what do you mean you need to celebrate that? Don't you? That's celebrated every day. But this is a real group. They're a real organization. They're .org. And I'll go ahead and post the information on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page. Shout out to V from Tennessee. He went ahead and sent me this. They are huge supporters of Donald Trump. And I just think it just tickles me. Because D-Ray right now. So right now, D-Ray, who is like just an activist, nothing more but an activist speaking out against what's going on in Baltimore. D-Ray is on the FBI's watch list right now. Like, he is a watch list individual, but yet an organization, a .org, a 501(c), who has like traditionalism and ethnic consciousness. I don't know how they, okay, never mind, pause. I was going to say, I don't know how they're organization. I don't understand how they're 501(c), but when we have the NFL, who is also a 501(c), but $1 billion organization, as well as the KKK, who is a hate group, yet a nonprofit organization. It blows my mind. But Takwa, I love and appreciate you. I hope you have an awesome day. I know we got Mr. Nubian on the line. Good rising, Mr. Nubian.
Good morning. How you doing? I was going to say, I think the biggest issue with why you have the ignorance is because in our school system, we don't educate folks. Like, if you travel around the world, they'll explain to them the history of mankind started in Africa. Like, the reason why they call them Caucasians is technically Europe is not a continent. Europe is a part of Asia, but because the European devils want to be their own little group, they call themselves Caucasians to isolate them from the rest of the Asians, because most Asians are people of color. The Europeans are actually, if anything, they're kind of like a deficiency in humanity. It was Africans who moved out to those areas, and then they mixed with the Neanderthals, which were basically monkeys. So when the white people are on these TV shows and talk about, white people are supremacy and everything else, actually they're humans, they're deviants. They're a mixture of African humans mixed with monkeys. And that's why I think cold weather affects us, because when you take Africans to cold weather climates, North America, Europe, they lost their damn mind. That's why even in the hood, there's so much craziness. I believe there's something with cold weather that turns Africans into nut jobs, and then those Africans mixed with the monkeys, and they completely went down the tube.
You know what? I'm not saying you're right, but I don't like the cold. And you know what? Let me be a little transparent. So I like, as far as research is concerned, I always wanted to do a study on whether or not Black people were more susceptible to heat and white people were more susceptible to cold, because I don't see a lot of us wearing shorts and T-shirts in 42-degree weather. Like, it's nice outside.
Monkeys have fur. That's the reason why white people are so hairy. The reason why they're able to adapt to the cold weather, they mix with these monkeys or whatever, and then, their body produce that fur. And I think the reason why they act like animals, why they, have sex with, like animals or whatever, is because they are. They're a combination of Africans and monkeys. That's why, for myself, as much as people hate what I say, this is the reason why I believe with race mixing. The more you mix with people that have European DNA, I think the more screwed up they're going to be. Look at all the serial killers, European, and the ones who are people.
That's not true. You can't say that. That's not true. You can't say all European serial killers are all European. You can't say that. You can't say.
But
it has nothing to do with politically. It's not a fact.
Okay, all the serial killers, all these mass murders, all of them European DNA. Homosexual, all of that stuff. You go to a cold climate, you mix with animals, you're going to become a deviant.
Lord have mercy. I think, hold on, pause. I think people are just deviant. I don't think it has anything for race. People are deviant. People.
Homosexuality, mass murder, that stuff didn't start in the motherland. We didn't have violence in the motherland until white people came over there and started putting this tribe against this tribe because we were stealing the natural resources. So they said, if you go there and you
they were fighting each other anyway.
with 10 people, that one bottle of water, you're going to kill for that bottle of water to survive. We kill for necessary to survive. White people kill for sport. I mean, they're rich. Why the heck you got to go out and hunt?
Lord, okay, Mr. Nubian, I'm done. I'm done for the day. Did you just say that this is not the purge? This is not the purge. White people hunt for sport. There's just certain things that when you're right, you're right. I'm not going to argue with you when you're right. But when you start hitting nerves that don't need to be strong, come on, Mr. Nubian. Come on. You can't just make blatant blanket statements like that. You can't. And because there's people that are listening that don't have a mind of their own to say, you know what? He is wrong. I don't believe what he's saying. There's people that are going to sit here and listen to what you're saying and be like, oh my gosh, he's so right. And not have any facts behind it. You can't make a blatant statement like that. But what I was talking about was this ethic consciousness of this organization, tradeworker.org, that is a huge supporter of Donald Trump. We currently have another listener on the line, 617-282-0062. If you agree or disagree with either Taqwa or Mr. Nubian, give us a call, because I can't. Their opinions are their opinions, and I'm allowed to express mine. They're allowed to express theirs. That doesn't necessarily mean I agree with everything that is said. Good rising, call you live.
Yes, good rising. This is B from Tennessee.
Good rising, good rising.
Calling because with regards to the website, what I think is interesting, and we always need to educate ourselves on both sides sometimes. But what I really think is interesting is the way they lay out the purpose for this organization. Is there's a part in there they talk about localizing their government. In other words, a lot of people that support this particular party, they feel like their local strength to elect and vote has been centralized and taken away from them. But what's crazy is those are things that a lot of Black people never had. Like, they're asking for things back that we never had the power to affect before we were able to vote. You see what I'm saying? So they're taking a twist on a story, but they're not looking at the reason why the Black girl, Black Lives Matter, was there protesting was because we have been isolated from the political process for such a period of time and now that we have the power to vote, we have not taken advantage of it the way we should, right? So they're asking for things on the website to get back. They feel like it's being taken away from them, and they're blaming Obama. A lot of it is blaming Obama. And I'm like, I encourage people to go read it and just sit down and see what kind of sense it makes. I mean, they have their argument, but it's twisted, right? They have a reason to feel the way they do, but they're not looking at the whole story. And there's a danger in that. You know what I'm saying? They're only looking at the last 4 years or 8 years, and they're being irrational about it. They're putting the blame in places where it doesn't belong. So what I'm saying is, check out the website, read it for yourself. Just like Tayla said, do your due diligence. But it is something that we need to understand where this venom and anger is coming from. And a lot of it, to me, makes no sense, when you look at the big picture. So I just wanted to call, and I've been reading over it. I'm going to continue to read it. And just so we can see where we're going, we need to understand what the mentality is like out here. And this is where it's coming from, people like that. So I appreciate the time, and good rising. I hope everyone has a great day.
Absolutely. Thank you, V from Tennessee. Again, that is trade. It's not even trade, it's trad. TRAD without the E, worker.org. And please read it. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, this website is the epitome of Mr. Nubian, but on the opposite side. How about that? I promise you, about the Traditionalist Workers' Party, they are Mr. Nubian counter. They are Mr. Nubian's counter. So I don't know. I can't, Mr. Nubian. I can't have this huge race conversation finger pointing and blaming. We're already here. Let's educate on the past and move forward. Let's make statements that are truthful. I make a lot of opinion-based conversations, but that one right there, babe, I can't allow that one. We have another call on the line, 617-282-0062. Good rising, caller, you're live.
Good morning.
Hey, Miss G.
Listen, I'm at odds with Mr. Nubian. For him to say that the human race consists of animals, that's insulting. That's very insulting. And also, he needs to look within to be able to look out. What do you think gang violence is? That's murder. And also, too, we have a history of serial killers. I was looking at that online, and I was looking at, there's a lot of black serial killers, so he needs to look within. Before he gives out information, that's bad information, by the way. He needs to research it. Just don't come off the top of your head with it. So before he makes accusations, look at your own. I'm black. Look at your own.
I'm with you, Miss G. There's just certain things. I get it. Like, we all have an opinion. We all feel some type of way. But at some point, we got to have some sense, too. And there are feeble minds that are listening that can be swayed one way or another. And that's not the way in which I think we should go.
I have an issue with giving out information, and I want it to be correct. I don't want it to be, there's young people listening, and there's some dumb older people, and we need to be able to give out the right information so when somebody opens up their mouth, they don't sound like an idiot.
Yes, ma'am. I love you, Miss.
Screen the information.
Thank you, Miss G. I love and appreciate you. Hope you have an awesome day today. We have come to the top of the hour. There's a few things that I would like to share with you. Today, Mayor Marty J. Walsh will join Economic Development Chief John Barrows and the Neighborhood Development Chief Sheila Dillon. Remember Sheila Dillon? We had T. Michael Thomas call up here talking about the People's Academy, and to call Sheila Dillon as far as her issues and problems and situation with the T. Michael Thomas's the People's Academy. Well, there is going to be an announcement made today relative to small businesses in Boston. Please keep it locked. I will keep you informed as soon as I find something out. I will definitely inform you guys. As far as the other stories are concerned, just head over to the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page, TaylaAndre, and I'll make sure I get you guys everything that we covered today and a few other things that we were unable to cover. So as far as Power Hour is concerned, today is still Women's Month. March is Women's Month. And I want to give a huge shout out to Melissa Lebron. Last month, she became the first African-American woman to own a competitive race team licensed by NASCAR on the national level. I don't think you understand how huge this is. This is like Gabby Douglas winning the Olympics. This is like, for crying out loud, this is NASCAR. How many of you even watch NASCAR? How many of you even know what NASCAR is? This is like a Tuscaloosa, Tuskegee, backwoods, Alabama, huge sport that not a lot of us pay attention to, but it is ridiculously huge in the South. I want to give a huge shout out. She is currently on the line now. Melissa Lebron, the first African-American woman to own a competitive race team licensed by NASCAR on the national level. Good rising, my queen. How are you?
Good morning.
So first of all, why? Why NASCAR, baby?
Why not?
Good answer. Good answer. But nobody even thinks about that. Like, black people in a race car. Like, I'm good. The speeds we can't control. I'm good. So we don't know much about NASCAR. Tell us a little something about NASCAR so we can have a better understanding.
Well, what would you like to know? The way I got into
NASCAR was. Actually, my sons are extreme sport enthusiasts. And I was working on a music project, actually, and that was my first exposure. The young lady was an aspiring driver as well as an awesome singer. And I ended up taking over for some of her day-to-day business opportunities with NASCAR, and I developed a relationship with them. Lo and behold, they had no idea about how to market an African American in NASCAR, and I came from a music background where I dealt with publicity and promotion and publicity basically at Epic, and I was able to show them that, you know, this is the way that these are techniques that we use to break an artist. So I applied it to that, and I developed a marketing plan, which they absolutely loved. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go further with the driver, but my sons were always in the background saying, you know, give us a try, give us a try, give us a try. And I'm like, no, because we don't do that. So, go to school, be a lawyer, be a doctor, but I'm not putting you in a sports car, a race car. And I ended up getting invited to a family event that NASCAR was holding, that they were hosting down in Charlotte. And I brought my sons with me. And my sons were very impressive on the track. Unfortunately, that is for entertainment. They caught the eye of a NASCAR official who gave me his telephone number. He said, you know, they're really interested. You know, this is really for entertainment purposes. Let's put them in a real environment and test them and see if, you know, if they really have something. Because on that day, they drove 150 miles an hour.
Woo!
And they had never been in a race car before. So we were like, okay, let's see. You know, I'm the whole time in the background, like, they're going to get scared and, you know, they're not going to want to do it. So I gave the guy a call. You know, we went down to South Carolina and we put them in a real testing environment. And they drove 184 and 186. I got a call from the gentleman who said, little lady, you might be on to something. That's where it started. And we've been pushing ever since. It's been 2.5 years now.
How old are your sons?
They're 21 and 20.
Okay, so while we're on the topic of children, Lord have mercy. Melissa, can you please tell the listeners how many children you have?
I have 7.
Yo.
3 biological and 4 adopted. So I have a very, very busy house.
And they range between the ages of what to what?
21 to 19 months.
Melissa, I have 2 children. They are 10 and 12. They take care of themselves. They dress themselves. They feed themselves. How the heck do you do it?
By the grace of God. That's all I can say.
Lord have mercy. What inspired you to adopt 4 children aside from the 3 that you already had?
Well, the 4 children, the 4 younger children are my younger siblings' children. The 3 little boys are my baby sister's sons, and the little girl is my baby brother's daughter. I want to see them go into the system, and I was in a position to be able to give them the love and affection and attention that they need, and, you know, bring them into a conducive environment for them to be successful.
So I'm part of an organization where we have this saying, hashtag that's a chica, where that can represent a woman from any industry or no industry at all that is definitely making strides as a female. And I want to say, if you did nothing more but adopt your siblings' children, you are a chica. Because I have 2 and I want to rip my hair out on a regular basis. And for you to have a house full of 7 ages 19 months to 21 years old, God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Honestly, it doesn't even seem like, you know, it's you know, that much, it's not that difficult. Everybody pitches in one way or another. So so far it's been moving along smoothly. You know, the younger kids, they're doing excellent in school. They're on the honor roll. So I've been blessed.
Ashe, Ashe. Let's get back. For those that are just now checking in, we are on the line with Melissa Lebron. Last month, she became the first African-American woman to own a competitive race team licensed by NASCAR on the national level. So what does this mean on the national level? Can you own a NASCAR race team that is not on the national level? Are there those that came before you, African-American, male, female, that have is there levels to this? Is it like pro and then college and then high school, or how does this work? How does that structurally work?
You have a weekend series called Wheeling, and that's where we started. We started in the Wheeling series, which is a weekly local series. NASCAR is nationwide, as you know, we all know. And every Saturday there's a late model race. You have late models, you have late models modified, and it builds up until you get to the nationals level. Nationals is what you typically see on TV. I own a camper or truck, and it's number 106, and that's where we've entered nationals at. We're looking to, of course, graduate into Xfinity Series, which is typically what people recognize as NASCAR, which is, you know, the cars, and the Sprint Cup is the ultimate platform.
So congratulations, that's huge. You said you've been a part of this lifestyle for the last 2 years, but as of last month, it was when you owned the competitive race team. How did that process take place?
That was amazing. We were down in Daytona. Actually, to back up a little bit, I had been invited to an owners meeting in Charlotte, and I was approached then about, you know, pushing my team forward a little bit into nationals. And I was like, sure, you know, I don't have a problem with it. You know, we were looking to internationals, you know, towards a little bit towards the end of the season, because as you know, NASCAR is extremely expensive, let alone I have 2 drivers in my household, and I have a total of 4 altogether. And, you know, I was encouraged then to push into nationals, which we did, and we acquired truck number 106. That is our truck that will be debuting at Dover Downs on May 13th.
Truck 106. Hold on, I'm trying to look this up. So, okay, you said that you have 2 drivers. We don't know, baby. We don't know how expensive NASCAR is at all. I've never been to a NASCAR race. What is it? Talladega. So in Alabama. So I lived in Birmingham, Alabama, and in order to get to Atlanta, you have to pass by Talladega, and it's huge, absolutely huge. The amount of campers and tents and people are out there for a full week, just living on the land and drinking and partying, and then going to watch cars going a ring. What is it, like 172 times? Like, what fun is that?
It is an amazing amount of fun. When I tell you, it did not truly impact me that NASCAR is a way of life until I went to Daytona 500. It was just a culture all its own, and it was amazing, and I met some amazing people, and when I tell you, it was so exhilarating. I just get excited about it, because it's one thing coming from a weekly series, but when you get on that level, it is incredible. It is really a way of life for some people. They have these amazing campers, and you, like you said, they are out there living it up. They were partying. It was just incredible. It really was. And now I see how NASCAR has been sustained all these years. Their fans are the most loyal fans ever in any sport.
So we're having some questions come in from online. If there's anybody that's currently listening now, 617-282-0062. If you have any questions for Melissa Lebron, the first African-American woman to own a competitive race team licensed by NASCAR on a national level, question comes in. She must be a magnet for sponsorships. I'm interested in knowing how she plans on competing financially with other teams. It's an expensive sport to be involved with. How does she do it? Maybe she can help. Oh, hold up now. Hold on. They're like, yo, you might want to tap into that one, Tayla. individual said, I'm from Talladega, 250,000 people come there twice a year. Mad money comes in. How do you plan on competing financially with other teams? Great question.
Right now we're in the process of closing a couple of deals, which are huge, and I'm not at liberty to say, but my team is self-financed up until this point. I will just say that.
Baby, I love that. Up until this point, you have been self-financed. Female-made, women-made, because it's man-made, no, women-made. How did you do it? How were you able to, what did you, did you come from a wealthy family? Did you guys already have money? Are you like Donald Trump and you're like, yeah, I made it by myself, but not really because your daddy helped you?
No, not at all. I was a New York City worker. Once I left the music industry, I went to work for New York City Department of Correction, and they were very good to me. I was promoted to a supervisory level, and I saved my money, and I literally put every single dime that I had behind my boys. When my children say that they want to do something, I'm the first one to encourage them, and I put it all on the line for them. And it has so far paid off. But no, my family is comfortable, but they're not NASCAR comfortable, I can assure you. It's been quickly.
She said, not yet. We ain't rich yet. So you know what? I know this is not what you came on air for, but we have listeners that live in the city of Boston, Massachusetts. Right now, our area median income is $94,000. We are not making this $94,000. How were you able to budget? Don't laugh at us. This is so serious because rent is, you lived in New York City. We're like New York right now. Like we are so struggling when it comes to this renting and trying to live and saving pennies. How did you save your pennies? You said every penny you saved. Give us some tips on budgeting because I don't know how you go from a corrections officer to owning a NASCAR team.
I'm proud of my promotion. I got promoted. But honestly, the environment that I raised my children in, we're about an hour and a half out of the city. And it's different. It's completely different. My kids grew up on DC sneakers. They didn't care about Jordan or any of the typical stuff that our children, our culture, love to wear. So I was able to get by with JCPenney's, Macy's, and Kohl's with no problem. Walmart stopped a couple of times, but it's really the way I raised them. It's not what you drive or what you wear, but where you live at. And the education is so much more important than, these things that are going to wear out and, they're not tangible items. So
hold on, Melissa, can I stop you? Can we rewind and can you say that one more time? It's not what you wear. It's not what you drive.
It's where you live at.
I hope somebody's listening. We have another caller on the line, 617-282-0062. Do you have any questions from Melissa Lebron? Last month became the first African-American woman to own a competitive race team licensed by NASCAR on a national level. Big up, big up, big up. 617-282-0062. Good Rising, caller, you're live.
Come on, I'm just curious. But the drivers, what is the income levels like? Like we can see the salaries of most sports. But when I saw NASCAR, I saw one black dude named Lewis. I think he gets something like $10 million. But I didn't see
Lewis Hamilton is not a NASCAR driver. He is an F1 driver. That is the ultimate level in motorsport.
Hold on, I'm confused. What happened?
He's speaking about Lewis Hamilton, who's a race car driver. Lewis Hamilton drives in the F1 series, which is a European series. And that is the ultimate. That's like Europe's Indy series.
Okay, so there's more levels to this that I was completely unaware of. So above NASCAR, there's what?
Indy. And from Indy, you typically graduate into F1. I mean, you can start really wherever you want to, but, it's a gradual process. Indy is absolutely the ultimate in motorsports.
Okay. I'm still gonna probably have to look at a visual for that to see like the actual levels. But I go back to Mr. Nubian's question. What are the salaries of a race car driver, of a NASCAR race car driver?
They range from 150,000 as a rookie driver all the way up to millions of dollars. A NASCAR team can generate close to $1 billion, if not $1 billion.
What? Hold on, baby. Hold up. Potentially, you could be a billionaire off of NASCAR. You yourself, your company, with your 4 drivers, your 2 sons being being 2 of your drivers, you could become a billionaire off this.
That's what they tell me.
Baby, come on. I'm so glad you called this rising. I have so many questions now. Like, how do we tap into this? I feel like this is an untapped market. We knew nothing about this. We know now.
It really is. It really is. And it's an amazing sport. It really, really is. And people don't feel that it is a sport, but I'll tell you, those drivers are under a tremendous amount of pressure in that car over a long period of time. They sustain a high heat. They have to be physically, physically able. Their muscles, their breathing. It is definitely a sport. It truly is.
How is it a sport? You're driving. If that's the case, I'm a soccer mom. I need a check if that's the case, because I feel like I do a whole lot of hold on. Okay, so NASCAR is a sport. You said that they endure high heat. What about AC? Why not just put AC in the car?
We have AC that attaches to the back of the helmet. However, there's still a lot of heat coming off of that engine. That engine is running at its highest ability, and the kickback is tremendous. And the driver is not allowed to get out and take a break or even a bathroom break at that level. They have to keep going.
And how long does this last for? Because I know they come out and they camp up for about a week. How long do these all right, first question. How many laps does a driver have to do on a NASCAR level?
On a NASCAR level, the races range from anywhere from 300 laps up to 500 laps. We have a race called the 600. Typically, they score enough points. They don't usually run the whole 600 laps.
How long does it take to drive 300 laps?
That rate of speed, it's typically about an hour and a half to
that's
sometimes a 2.5 hour race. It depends.
Okay, so I feel like at some point in time you're gonna get bored watching people go around in a circle. So is it the type of never? So from beginning to end, people sit and watch the entire race.
Higher rate. They're there before the drivers get there. They're there for the practice on up to the very end to the checkered flag. And I mean, when I tell you, it is a family event. It is it could be 2 days in the making. People attend the practices, the qualifying. It is a culture. That's all I can say. It is a culture.
How was it, as far as culture is concerned? How was it for you and your family to go from the music business into the NASCAR business? And did you see other families that looked like you?
No. No. I didn't see anyone diversity until the night of the opening series for Camping World Trucks. Other than that, it was us. There was one other driver who attended a driver development meeting that my son attended, but other than that, we are grossly underrepresented in NASCAR.
What about drivers? Are there any other African American drivers, Asian drivers, Hispanic drivers?
There are, I would say 2 or 3 Hispanic drivers. They're not Hispanic, they're Latin. And I myself, outside of my sons who are African American and Latino, I counted 2 other drivers that were African American, and one which is very famous, Darren Wallace, who is he's biracial, and that is the makeup of NASCAR.
Wow. What would you advise a person who's currently listening who has, a drive for driving fast, has never been able to be in that type of arena, inner city living, but has had this adrenaline in them to drive really fast? What would you say to that individual who wants to, has always thought about it, but that was never really an opportunity that was like, oh, that's something you can do. You can definitely tackle that. You can become a NASCAR driver.
Yes, definitely. I tell them to call me. I'm always looking to grow my team a little bit further because we would like to, tap into Indy, which would be called doubles, a little further on down the line, maybe within the next year or so. And we're definitely headed to the Sprint Cup.
So shout out to Anonymous. You can go to spottrack.com. You can see all salaries from all sports, including NASCAR. A ton of information there. It's a science and money. NASCAR racing is physics science on steroids. She said, I agree.
Oh, yes.
Anonymous said, give her a call. How do I get in contact with her?
I will leave my information with you, and we will be putting up a website for recruiting. The name of the team is E2 Northeast Motorsports, and you can expect the website to be up in a matter of 48 hours.
Okay. Another question that we have online, 617-282-0062. Don't be shy just because she's about to be the most powerful woman in the world. I love this. So another question that came in was whether or not you have any females on your team.
I am currently recruiting for a female driver. Unfortunately, the young ladies that I had access to being here in the Northeast, which has been a disadvantage for my team, they are not interested in trying to be fast for a living. But I am recruiting. I have my eye on 2 female drivers as we speak. One is 17, and we're testing and seeing, if it's at all possible. And the other young lady is older, and she's still trying to make up her mind if she's really going to commit to this or not. So we'll see. And I'm hoping to conquer that as well.
What skill set do you have to have in order to become a NASCAR driver?
They have to have first of all, you have to have a passion for the sport. Definitely a thrill. This is a thrill seeker for sure, but it is a very technical sport, as your caller said. And they really, really, really have to listen to directions. Being an excellent listener helps a lot, but, definitely not being afraid of the speed and the pressure, the amount of pressure that your body's under traveling at that rate of speed. It can be quite uncomfortable.
So a little transparency here. Hopefully I don't get arrested. The top speed that I've done. Okay, let me rephrase this question. What is the top speed? I'm not getting arrested today. What is the
time and tell my boys they got it from their mama, so
How old do you have to be? Because you said a 17-year-old. So she's a minor. How old do you have to be to drive for NASCAR or to be a driver?
They start in karts. From the moment that they can control the steering wheel and the pedal, they are in karts. And they gradually move up. They move up to midgets and legends and banderos until they get into an actual race car. But for NASCAR, you can be no younger than 14.
Oh, where in the United States of America can you drive at 14 for you to be as young as 14?
NASCAR.
Wow. What is the oldest driver that's currently driving now?
Oh, one just retired. I forget his name. He was 73, I believe. He was old, very old.
So,
For, of course, decades. I mean, literally, they grow up. Like, the babies are out there watching their dads work on their cars, their weekly series cars, or, whatever level that they're at. But it is literally a cultural thing. We cannot fully grasp it being here in the Northeast, but in the South, that is what they live for.
no, baby, we can't grasp it because let us do 5 miles over the speed limit and we go to jail. Okay, that's why we can't grasp it. We have some more questions from online. Anonymous said, ask her what type of racism, if any, did she experience, either from the NASCAR organization or from the fans?
No, NASCAR has been incredibly supportive. Once I presented, as I said, my marketing plan, I stayed in close contact with them, and as my son started to develop, I kept them abreast of what was going on and the progress that I was making up until we were ready to enter at a professional level. But no, they've been incredibly supportive. Once I finally signed on to nationals, you cannot believe the amount of paperwork and meetings I've had to attend. I'm between Daytona and Charlotte every single week. I'm waiting for the money to come in because I'm going to need a plane for real.
I am so excited. Yes, baby. Yes. 617-282-0062. I have another anonymous question here. What are her thoughts on street racing and how can we potentially gravitate that street racing audience to NASCAR?
One thing I will say,
good question.
The very first time my son got into an actual NASCAR, I completely understood how dangerous street racing is. NASCAR, driving at that level, there's a lot of science that goes into it. They were testing the temperature of the tires, they were testing the water. I mean, so much goes into it. And then I was able to, because, being from New York, you kind of see a little. Belt Parkway was our speedway. The conduit was our NASCAR track. But honestly, I really got a chance to see that it is really, really a fine-tuned sport as far as, what condition a car needs to be in, because the smallest, what word should I say? Forgot some stuff here. It's so early in the morning.
So like I always wondered, so if they tint the wheel, go ahead.
One tire pressure off puts you in a very dangerous situation driving at that rate of speed. So I was so terrified, and my children ended up losing a close friend to speeding not long after they came back from getting their first license in NASCAR. And these roads are not built for it. They're not smooth. It is extremely dangerous. And I encourage everybody to stay away from street racing because your vehicle is not built for that. Your tires are not made for that. It is extremely, extremely dangerous. And we intend on creating a campaign that really speaks against street racing and encouraging people. If you want to get out there are tracks in the area from New York, from Pennsylvania all the way up to New Hampshire, that if you're a car enthusiast and you want to get out there and rev your engines, do it in a safe environment, because on the streets of New York or Boston or Jersey, it is not the place for it. Those roads they're not made for it. Just hitting an indention in the road can send you airborne at that rate of speed, or picking up a rock or a piece of debris. It is extremely dangerous.
And I promise you, you never think about that. Now I know, what's the man from Fast and the Furious? He died in a car accident. Bill Walker, yeah. So aside from like the Bill Walker incident, I was unfamiliar with the dangers of street racing. got a few cousins that do it, and you don't think about like tire pressures and water temperatures and, you know, so you said that you guys are working on a campaign to make, diffuse the problem as far as street racing is concerned, but are you also creating a campaign for those street racers to maybe navigate their way to NASCAR?
We will be developing, right now we're talking to a couple of schools about a STEM program. At the current time, it's more towards engineering and, as I said, in NASCAR, and, really being able to construct the car, construct an engine, construct the body and the frame of a NASCAR. Also, there are a tremendous amount in a team. Right now, we're looking at employing about 65 people just for the 4 drivers that I have. So there's a lot of technical support that goes into being a NASCAR team. But definitely, I would love to develop a program, recruitment program, and, really give some of the young talent that we have in the immediate area an opportunity to see if they have what it takes. And I would love to have them come on board.
Baby, we're going to dominate it, right? As soon as we step foot on that track, it's going to be over. They're going to abandon the sport. It's going to be ours. She said yes. Oh, well. Another question that we have is, I'm 30 years old. I want to drive. Is it too late? Please give her my number. How much would it cost, or how much would I have to pay to get started?
It's absolutely not too late. And it's really a matter of how serious they are. It's the initial cost, with training and equipment, it can range anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000.
Hold on. What?
So make no mistake about it. It is the most expensive sport to enter into. Trust me.
So I complain about Anari's $150 registration fee for baseball, right? I'm over here complaining because Asaria wants to do gymnastics, and that's like $175 a week. And you're talking about $50,000 to $75,000 to become a NASCAR driver.
It's very expensive. A lot of it goes into the safety equipment and the training.
Another comment that came in, good rising, Tayla. I'm very interested in driving for your guest speaker. I have always had a deep passion, only being able to experience speed in Jamaica. Boston, as you say, is dangerous. Would you please give her my contact information? And hold on, this looks like a female. Is this a female? Wait. I think this is, I just want 10%. That's it. Wow. So apparently Anonymous is taking over today. Oh, it's Paul Walker, not Bill Walker. I'm sorry, baby. He said you better get his name right. Please don't slaughter my husband's name. My condolences to Paul Walker and his family as far as street racing is concerned. For all those that are currently listening, street racing is very dangerous. If you want, or if you're interested in racing, please make sure you hit up Melissa Lebron. Last month, she became the first African-American woman to own a competitive race team licensed by NASCAR on a national level. She has 7 children, y'all. And let me get this straight. You're also a single mother, too?
Yes, I was going to say, you're forgetting on my title. I'm very proud of raising my children by myself.
And we are proud of you as well. I don't know how you do it. I'm a single mother of 2, and I swear I want to kick them out sometimes. But I don't know how you do it with 7. Absolutely amazing. 2 of her drivers are actually her sons. And if this is something that you're interested in, the website will be live within the next 48 hours. As soon as it goes up, it goes live. I will post it on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page. And for the people that are inboxing me to give you their numbers, how do you want them to contact you?
They can contact me by email at YouTube Northeast Motorsports@gmail.com. And I'm on all social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I don't have Pinterest and Periscope. I just haven't had time yet to try to figure those things out. But we'll be up there too, I'm sure. Oh, I hope my social media manager doesn't hear that.
We have another message here. Anonymous said there is Formula One F1 track on 93 South where everyday people can drive the cars on the track. But that's go-karts though. Like, how can I go ahead and, test out my experience and see how well equipped I am for NASCAR if I'm only in this little facility that lets me go 72 miles an hour?
We have tracks here in New York. There's Monticello. I believe it's a $1,500 fee now, and you can drive as fast as you like in a rented car. The Poconos, I believe they have an experience. There's several NASCAR experiences that are ran by former drivers that are very popular, and you can get up there and see if you don't throw up after you get out of the car.
Are there people that do throw up when they get out the vehicle?
There's some that pass out.
You know what? I have a lot of uncles that do 180 miles an hour on a side street, so I think I can handle it. I'm interested. I really am. I have a lead foot. 127 is the most that I've ever went. Then the wheel started getting a little shaky, so I started getting a little nervous, and we went down to speeds that I'm familiar with. So what about like, I don't know. I feel like this is something that we should have. Why do you think you are the first, baby? Why are you the first African-American female to own a driving team for NASCAR? It's 2016. This just happened last month. This is a first. Why do you think you are the first? What stopped or hindered others in the past?
I would say the cost. It is extremely, extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. You have numerous cars that need to be purchased. You have show equipment. You have a lot of testing, constant testing, and you literally are, you invest unless you come from, a silver spoon, you're going to invest every single penny you've ever made, every dollar you made into pursuing it. I honestly believe that it's really just about the cost. It's not the opportunity. It's not that NASCAR is not looking for diversity and ownership. I believe it's just really the cost. And, coming from the Northeast, I can say that it's just not a sport that we pay any attention to, really. In the South, I'm really not sure why there haven't been other owners. There have been other female owners before, but the only other African-American owner was Dr. Bethune, and that was a charity team, which he quickly got out of the sport.
Who was Dr. Who?
Dr. Bethune.
I just wanted to do my own little due diligence, and you said that was organizational. What does that mean? How is that different?
Charity. That was a charity team. They weren't a competitive team.
Oh, okay. So again, we're back to there's levels to this. So you can do the charity race or you can do the competitive race.
Right.
Is there a diagram? Like I need a diagram because it sounds like there's a whole lot of levels to this. What is the highest level? Because I remember you said the Indy and the F1. That's like, what is the Super Bowl of NASCAR?
The Sprint Cup.
Where does that take place?
The Sprint Cup takes place in Daytona.
Okay, and that's the Super Bowl of it all.
Daytona 500 is the Super Bowl of it all.
Okay, so that I'm familiar with.
Yes. Daytona 500 kicks off the beginning of the season, and the chase is the ultimate. That's what you're racing for, is the Sprint Cup.
And is that where they race for points? They don't necessarily finish all the laps. And how do you get points?
You can obtain points from running in the top 5. You can from start, you acquire points from various different positions running on a track for, weekly, because Sprint Cup runs weekly as well. All the races run weekly. I did realize that we have a break in March where Camp and Roll Trucks isn't running for the entire month of March, but they pick back up in April. But typically, Sprint Cup and Xfinity Series run weekly.
And you're
points, and those points add up.
Okay, so as far as deaths are concerned, so we have, I have seen or heard about cars flipping over and, other drivers being affected by one car and, there being pileups. How often does death take place in these high speed racings?
It's been very rare. Yes, it has occurred, but the steel cages that the drivers are enclosed in can take in a tremendous amount of pressure, and they really rely on that. The challenge is keeping the safety of the driver and also keeping your car light enough to perform the way you need it to on the track. The deaths have occurred. There hasn't been a death on the track, I believe, for maybe 4 years.
Okay. Maybe that was just the Ricky Bobby movie I just watched recently that made me think that it was a recent death. I have a dumb question. Why aren't there any doors, and why do you have to jump in the vehicle? Like, why isn't there a door for you to open and get in?
No. One, the mechanism for opening the door adds weight to the vehicle, and the cage does not allow for that. It's for that there are safety hatches on the roof that in the event of emergency that they can open a flap. But typically that's how to get into the cars. It's through the doors. The doors don't open.
And okay, so my ignorance is solely based off of the movie Cars, and when they were racing, they had like the little pit stop. Are those pit stops real? Like, do you go around the track about 50 times and then really change out your tires?
Yes, you do. In a matter of seconds, your pit crew goes over the wall, and you will get penalized if somebody's over the wall other than a viewer, and they make it happen in sometimes as little as 11 seconds. They change it.
What? Hold on. 11 seconds?
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. What about people who want to be a part of the pit team? Like people that want to work with cars, they want to be in the pit. How do you obtain that job?
Well, people go to school for it. A lot of people go to school. That's why I was speaking about the STEM program. A lot of people go to school to work in the pit crew. As far as, tire changer and things of that nature, it's just getting certified. But like I said, it's a very, very, very technical sport.
And lucrative. And, we have a whole lot of Tyrones out here that could change a tire in seconds. So let's go ahead and utilize these skills that we have. And you said, like, people go to school for this. What type of school do you attend to be a part of a pit crew? Like, where is that school?
In the South. There are programs, I wouldn't say in literally every school, but UAB, there are numerous schools in the South that offer NASCAR science, NASCAR engineering. They're there. They have specialty schools. I believe that there's one in Virginia that teaches NASCAR science.
So
I'll be recruiting somebody from one of the schools. It's a technical school, but they have a course that this is the major.
So you're a mother of 7, single mother of 7, and I would like for you to take a moment to speak to parents who have children who, maybe they drive fast, maybe they don't know what they want to do, maybe they are into street racing. I know right now you don't have a campaign to get people off of street racing and into NASCAR, but if you could just talk to these parents, talk to these children, what would you advise them? What would you say to them as far as considering NASCAR and racing as a viable choice to make for a career move?
Honestly, as a mother, I support anything my children, if my children show a true passion for it, and I don't mean like, my sons, they were rollerbladers, ATVers, snowboarders, we ran a full gamut. So when they really buckled down and they took an initiative that, Mom, this is what we want to do, and I saw them studying and really applying themselves, that's when I got behind them. But I would tell any parent, encourage your child to live their dreams, be supportive. So many times we want our children to do something safe or, get a real job and things like that. But we're robbing them of their dreams, of them, going out there and trying to pursue their passion. But as far as street racing, I would tell them to please stop. They have no idea the amount of risk that they are taking once that car goes over 75 miles an hour. They have no idea.
I thank you for that, baby. I thank you. So one of my little anonymouses sent me a picture of an interview that you did with the Huffington Post, and they said, "Oh my God, she is gorgeous. Why is she single?"
Why am I single? I don't know. I think it's because I work too hard and I really don't have time to date. I make it a point that anytime that I'm home, my time is spent with my children.
All 7 of them.
As of right now.
I want to remind the gentleman who hit me up with this picture talking about she's gorgeous, she's beautiful. Why is she single? She has 7 kids, boo. You still want to engage in this conversation? You still down for the cause? Hold on. I think we have one more message coming in. This NASCAR sports science video I'm looking at will trip you out. I'll send it to you later. See, when you think of NASCAR, you don't think of science. I'm not thinking of physics. I'm not thinking of, STEM programs. Like that is, you don't equate NASCAR with that. You're like, I'm going to be transparent. Somebody's going to hate me. I think of NASCAR. I think of like double wide trailer parks and, sunburns. And there's a stereotype to that we have to kill. We have to destroy that stereotype. And, just like the gentleman from Canada that took over hockey, that took all the way over hockey, I think it's time to take over NASCAR. And Melissa Lebron has already started as the owner of a team. She is looking to recruit some drivers. We have a female driver that is really interested. We have another message. Tayla, this is giving me life right now. I have always wanted to be a NASCAR driver, but I'm not physically fit for it. Can you ask her if there's a big people? Ask her if there are big people that are in the industry that race. Melissa is my new fave. Before her, it was Danica Patrick.
Oh, thank you. Well, let me just give you a joke. We were doing an event, a children's event in Brooklyn. So I brought my show car down. So me and my bright idea, I'm like, you know what? I hardly ever get a chance to play around with the car. I got this, and I'm a little, I got some meat on me. I'm definitely not a toothpick. And I kind of got stuck. The back side got stuck. Trying to get in and definitely trying to get out of the window. So you definitely have to be within a certain weight class, no more than 150 pounds. And the reason for this is the heavier you are, the more weight that you add to the car, the less the car performs.
Oh, okay. So it's like being a jockey, being short and little works to your advantage.
Right.
All right. So we're coming to the top of the hour, Melissa. I am so grateful for your time. Thank you so much. Last words that you want to share with the listeners?
Last words, I would tell you, pursue your dreams. Don't let anyone deter you. If you truly feel it in your soul, go for it.
And with that,
it's hard, and there are days when you're going to be like, oh my God, what have I done? But it pays off in the end. It does. I promise you it pays off in the end.
I'm so proud of you. I would love to be a part of some of these ventures that you'll be diving into. For the Boston drivers that are interested, please keep me abreast of what's going on, because I would love to follow this story. I would love to see what comes out of this. And Melissa, please believe that I don't have cable, but I'll definitely be tuning into the clips of videos for you. And what is your car, and how can we find you on the track?
Well, we'll be racing in Camping World Truck Series, and that is just as I said, the Truck Series. We're truck number 106, and we're looking to make our debut on May 13th at Dover Downs in Delaware.
Okay, so what does that mean as far as watching is concerned? We just have to look for Truck 106?
Yes, Nationals is covered by Fox Sport and NBC Sports.
Okay, because we new to this, baby. We don't know much about anything. You speak in a different language.
I learn every single day. I learn something new every single day. Who doesn't?
Amen, amen. Ashe. Waking up with Tayla Andre, Big City 101.3 FM. Shout out to Melissa Lebron. We love you, baby. We thank you. We appreciate you. She said, follow your dreams. Parents, if your child has a passion for something, get behind him or her and make sure that they follow their dreams, and you are the one that are helping them pursue their dreams. Because at the end of the day, who's going to be taking care of you? You'll be in that nursing home.
They'll remember you didn't support and encourage them.
And they will not support or encourage you while you're in your nursing home. But
when you're drooling.
Thank you so much, Melissa. We thank you. We love you. And we hope you have an awesome day today.
No, thank you so very much. And I look forward to coming out to Boston and having a couple of events and showing off my beautiful trucks.
Woo, woo. Yes, baby. We would love to be a part of that. I want to thank you. I want to thank Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you for making this possible today. I had no idea. I had no clue. But this was a very interesting, a very different conversation. And I'm hoping that we continue these very weird, very different conversations, but absolutely amazing. Don't you think? Shout out to Nikki Curry for facilitating this conversation. Shout out to all the anonymouses who did not want to call in, who sent me a whole bunch of messages. I want to shout out the female who wants to become a female driver. Go on, boo. I just want 15%. I know I said 10 earlier, but I think I want to up my game a little bit because this sounds like it's so lucrative. Millions of dollars for racing a car. If that's something you think your child would be interested in, hey, let's get them started. As early as 14? Your baby could start driving in NASCAR as early as 14. Just think about it. Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with Tayla Andre. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day today. If you missed any of today's conversation, please head over to mixcloud.com, TaylaAndre. Shout out to those on YouTube. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Mwah.
You know what it is? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation. Listen, make sure you wake up with Tayla Andre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. This is the type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
This is the champion dial. Big City 101.3. 101.3.
On Saturday, March 19th at the Faith Christian Church, 301 Harvard Street in Boston. Live in concert, it's Papa Sa and the long-awaited Adrian Cummings, all hosted by Minister Delroy Delingo. Yep.
Wasn't that the coolest in the whole world? I love it! NASCAR. Who would have thought NASCAR? Listen, I lived in Alabama, and Talladega is absolutely Talladega Nights is the name, not Ricky Bobby. It's no joke. The amount of people that show up for Talladega, the amount of people, And I thought it was dumb. Like, who the hell gonna watch cars race around the track? Now I know no one's have to battle. We just have to be better informed. And shout out to Anonymous, who said that best believe, as far as any sport is concerned, if we don't dominate it, it has nothing to do with ability. It has everything to do with financial stability. And the reason why we probably never got into NASCAR is because it's anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 to become a driver, to have all that training and all that safety equipment, and to own the vehicle. Like, I can see how it would be a financial hardship to want to get into NASCAR, no matter how much passion you may have. But I am exhilarated. I'm excited. Like, I feel like this is really new, really fresh, something else for us to dominate. Mind you, I'm a scary driver. I like speed, but I'm also like very wary and cautious. So NASCAR is not for me, but if it's for you, we'll have the website up within the next 48 hours. Currently, it's not up because it doesn't exist. But as soon as it goes live, I will share it with you. So if you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who might be interested, you too can share it as well. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. We finna dominate something else. People gonna be pissed all the way off. But it's an amazing feeling, and I'm so proud of her. And I wanted to ask her a few questions as far as her music is concerned, because she also owns like a Latin jazz music company that is distributed by Sony Records. But we talk about, we own the music business. Well, we own the music in the music business. We don't own the music business. So I wanted to stay away from the music, and I wanted to focus on the NASCAR and something we know absolutely nothing about. And I wish you guys would have asked more questions. Like, it's not about me, it's about us. What questions did you have? What questions did your children have? You know, what dumb questions did you, because I want to know why the hell you got to jump in the car. Now I know the mechanisms for opening and closing a door makes it too heavy. You got to ask questions, baby. But I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you have an awesome day today. I feel good. Yeah.